For the local congressmen who have been reelected, here's your reward, a so-called fiscal cliff.
That's where tax increases and deep spending cuts kick in if no budget deal is reached by the end of the year. As Delane Cleveland reports, the combination of the two poses grave consequences for the country.
We're all speaking with one voice because we have a major choice right in front of us.
Thursday morning at the state capitol, Congressman Keith Ellison joined a group consisting of seniors.
I'm 67 years old, and I've been on Social Security for about 5 years.
Teachers.
We voted for fairness this week, not cutting down the dreams and the future of our children.
And healthcare workers.
As a healthcare worker for the last 8 years, I'm talking today to remind you of how important it is to maintain funding for Medicare.
Their message is directed to other members of Congress.
There are a number of ways we can get more revenue, but making seniors, students, healthcare workers, and everybody else bear the brunt is not the way.
The subject of reducing the federal deficit is something Ellison and his Republican counterpart, Erik Paulsen, will have to tackle once Congress reconvenes next week.
We want to avert a debt crisis. We're still spending a lot. We need to spend less, but we also have to have some tax reform as a part of that.
The idea proposed by Democrats calls for tax increases for the wealthiest 2% of Americans and no cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Republicans, on the other hand, want lower tax rates across the board.
The choice really is, are we going to give tax breaks to the millionaires and billionaires, or are we going to fund basic programs?
It's a question Paulsen says both sides should work hard to answer.
Now that the election has ended, it's important that Congress get back to work on a bipartisan basis to make sure we're not going to have a huge tax hike on all families, small businesses, et cetera. So I really think there's an opportunity here to work together to avert that tax cliff that's coming up in just a little over a month.
As it stands now, the Bush-era tax cuts are set to expire on January 1st, and a number of spending cuts to government programs such as the defense budget and Medicare will also go into effect. The lame duck session of Congress begins on Tuesday. Mike and Alex?
All right, Delane Cleveland reporting.